Welcome back to the channel. The Ankylodocus came to Jurassic World Evolution 2 with a total grow-up that many thought totally saved this animal. Amongst all 122 species of Jurassic World Evolution 2, I think there are some other pretty key animals that could do with a bit of a redesign, if they were to return to the next game. And that's what this video is about. I want to go over some of the animals I think most need a redesign, and also suggest what the redesign should do. So let's get started. There's a few animals to start with that I think don't need a huge redesign, just one small area. The Giganotosaurus and the Dreadnoughtus are two designs that for the most part are okay. The main problems are the heads and faces. They both just look really bad. I think some alterations to the heads would go a long way to solve the problems. Or here's a rather controversial suggestion, simply remove the Frontier versions and only keep the Dominion ones in game. I don't think anyone would miss the Dreadnoughtus design, and while the Dominion Giga is borderline a monster, I think it's better than Frontier's version. I think you could also do the same with Pteranodon, just give us the Jurassic Park 3 version. No one likes the Jurassic World version of it with its ugly beak and snapped off crest, just stick to the JP one alone. Similar to the Dread and the Giga, the Hadrosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution 2 could all do with the same small redesign. Parasaurolophus, Syntausaurus, Corythosaurus and Olorotitan should all have their rigs altered slightly so they walk around on 4 legs. It's simply the correct way to present the animal. Next up is Archaeornithomimus. The biggest issue with this guy for me is that really it has nothing about it that makes it stand out amongst Gallimimus and Struthiomimus. I think the most obvious solution to this would simply be to give the Archaeo a fully feathered representation. This would make it stand out amongst similar animals while recognizing changes in the science. Talking of feathers, this brings us to Deinonychus. Its current depiction is considered rather controversial with its basilisk frills. I personally don't mind the frills, but I think a redesign would make the community happy. I think the most obvious option here is to simply make it a feathered or part feathered raptor, keep the frills but add feathers to it. I think most folks would be alright with this, and it would certainly make the dinosaur stand out next to the Velociraptor and Atrociraptor. Carcharodontosaurus is next. While it's not an awful rendition of the animal, I feel the head is too pointy and too narrow, and the additional spikes on the back are just a bit hybridy. I think a general remake of the animal, bringing it more in line with Jurassic Park Operation Genesis's or Prehistoric Kingdom's animal would be better. You could still have some sort of spines or quills on its back to make it look distinctive. Maiasaura is a design I have disliked since Jurassic World Evolution 1, and it got no better in the second game. Its Jurassic World Evolution 2 design has this really ugly face, and on the whole I feel the animal looks a bit starved and shrink wrapped for my tastes. There's plenty of better renditions around of this guy, giving it a better head and more muscular weight, and I think this would make me less hostile to the Maya. Liplorodon is definitely a clear candidate for a complete redesign in the next game. Jurassic World Evolution 2's Liplorodon looks disastrous. Too crocodilian with all these osteoderms, horns and spikes. I don't think it's wrong to say most people hate the look of the Lio. A complete redesign so it looks more like a pliosaur and less like a crocodile would solve most of the problem. If Frontier wanted to ensure the animal looked different to other lagoon plesiosaurs, I would suggest giving it something less severe as an affectation, such as a paddle tail or small rear fin, like the other aquatic animals currently have. The biggest thing the redesign needs to do is get the head right, as the current design looks really bad in that regards. My thoughts on the Oranosaurus might result in some hate in the comments. Right now, I just think the humpback version of the animal looks really ugly. I honestly think it would save the animal and give us something unique if the Oranosaurus model was reverted into something more like the sail-backed interpretation of the animal. This would give us a unique sail-backed herbivore. Maybe I'm biased towards the sail-backed Orano from JPOG and from when I was growing up, but I really don't like Frontier's version of this animal. And talking of opinions that might get me hate in the comments, this one is bound to get some. I think it's about time that we got a proper Dilophosaurus design. It's about time we got something properly sized. It can still have the frills and the venom spit if it must, but for God's sake, please give us an adult version whose size is correct. The final animal to mention is the Tylosaurus. I think, like the Liopleurodon, it also needs a total redesign. The current version of the animal just looks ugly, especially the head with those scraggly and exposed teeth. It reminds me of some Frankenstein monster. Its fins also feel way too large and remind me of elephant ears rather than fins. I think a redesign to make it look more Mosasaurus-like and less scraggly would be a good idea, as well as making it look more flexible and muscular like modern mosasaur interpretations. So that was a quick video on some of Jurassic World Evolution 2's designs of animals that I think need changes in the next game. Let me know in the comments if there's other animals you think need redesigning, and don't forget to like and sub if you're new around here. Until the next time, stay safe and goodbye.